Load shedding has become an unavoidable reality for the average South African, disrupting daily life with scheduled blackouts lasting several hours at a time. Since its introduction in 2007, rolling power cuts have worsened, with 2022 recording the highest number of load-shedding days in history, 208 days of outages. In response, many citizens, despite financial strain, have invested in solar power as a means of self-reliance. However, instead of being encouraged for easing the burden on the national grid, solar users now face potential taxes or levies, effectively penalizing them for choosing reliability over the country's failing infrastructure. These policies, while intended to promote renewable energy adoption, may inadvertently discourage individuals striving for energy independence amidst the ongoing power crisis. In addition, Eskom has mandated that all solar power systems, whether grid-tied or off-grid, must be registered by March 2026. Failure to comply could result in penalties, including a fine of approximately 6,052 rand. This requirement adds another layer of complexity and potential cost for those seeking alternative energy solutions. These measures, while aimed at regulating energy production and ensuring grid stability, may inadvertently penalize proactive citizens seeking reliable power solutions amidst the country's ongoing energy challenges.
Load shedding is back. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But it does feel like every time they don't get what they want, this happens. Like the last time, it just happened to be just after they didn't get their enormous electricity tariff hike. And this time, no 2% VAT increase. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure this isn't actually happening. There's no information or data or reality fact to suggest this is happening. But I am a human. And I have feelings. And this does feel.
Now, Eskom is enforcing stricter regulations on grid-tied solar power systems. The power utility says all grid-tied solar power systems connected to its network that are not registered with it are illegal, even if they are not feeding electricity back into the grid. It comes as the power utility and municipalities ramp up efforts to enforce stricter controls on solar systems connected to the grid. For more on this, we are joined virtually by Eskom spokesperson Daphne Mokoena. Daphne, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you here.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning, Sakina, and good morning to the viewers.
Thanks, Daphne. I mean, I suppose I'll be held accountable to viewers if I don't ask you possibly the most common question we've been asked this morning. Yeah. Do you own the sun?
We don't definitely own this one.
So why are you asking us to register our solar systems?
But we own the network.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. So
we own the network that supplies electricity to the customers.
But the energy comes from the sun. So people are asking, why? Why must I register with you when the energy is actually coming from the sun? It's not coming from you.
So, yeah, and maybe we just need to start by saying that as Eskom, we do support, the embedded generation or integration of renewable sources like your rooftop solar or small-scale embedded generators. And I think we also need to confirm that we will facilitate smooth access, or connection when customers apply for such. However, Leanne, this has to be done in an orderly manner based on established rules, because there are rules that are established when customers are connecting, to the grid. Unless if a customer has a rooftop solar or a small scale embedded generator, but he's totally off the grid. So, and as a licensed electricity distributor, Eskom must adhere to these rules, and these rules are not Eskom's rules, but are NERSA's legal and statutory requirements that needs to, or that ensures that there's safety into the network that we are looking after, or we own and look after, or licensed to actually distribute this energy to our customers.
So let's have a look and see, perhaps from data, because I'm looking at perhaps what is now outdated data. This was about the middle of last year, and it was saying that more than half of South Africa's rooftop solar PV are not registered. Where are we at now?
Yeah. So, as I said, that maybe let me start also just to emphasize the need for customers to actually connect to ensure that they register, or those that requires to have a license ensure that they are licensed to be generators. So what we're saying is that all grid-tied, small scale embedded generators, like those that have rooftop solar panels, need to comply with what we call the NRS 097 Part 2 standards to protect our staff and the public, even if they are not exporting to the network. And where we are currently, because we have, and this is not something new, that we are encouraging customers to come forward to register with us as Eskom, but it's something that has been running since 2019 and 2020. So we've been, encouraging customers. We've been on webinars, encouraging customers to come forth so that they can be registered and do, and have their connection compliant. So what we have currently, where we are sitting currently as Eskom, we've got about 1,300 customers that have registered with us. But we've got more than that, or of customers that have come forward and have applied. But what we have seen is that customers do apply, but they don't come back, because of the requirements. Because one of the key requirements is that even if you are not exporting back into the grid, you need to ensure that you have a qualified engineer or technologist to ensure that whatever a system that you have installed in your yard, or that you have installed as a customer, complies with this NRS 097.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a few questions at you, just because I know there's a lot. Viewers have been writing in as well. So do I have to apply before I put the panels up? And if I have put panels up, what then? Do I need an inspector to come and have a look at them to ensure that they are compliant and not deemed illegal? Talk to me about the process and where we're at.
Yeah, so it is advisable that customers must apply before they install, because then they would know what is it that is required from them in terms of having a quality supply installed. And in terms of the capacity as well, because depending on the capacity that you are installing as a customer, it will require you either to register also with NERSA, or just with Eskom, or the supplier or the distributor who's licensed, that your system will be connected or grid tied to. So that is what is advisable. But we know currently that we've got customers that have already installed these systems in their properties. So what we have done
when the power went out today, I really thought I'd run out of electricity. There I was, skipping along to the kitchen to go check the meter box. But now we have load shedding. And then I'm just like, okay. Maybe it's like a one-time thing, It can't be real. I just looked it up. Until further notice, stage 3?
you will see, comrades, when we rise to full power, there will be those even from amongst us who will say, yeah, we want to repair the bridges, we want to build schools, but how do we eat out of that thing? And that seems to be the main driving motive of the sitting government. There's crisis of electricity. The question they are looking for, or the responsibilities they are looking at, is not how to resolve electricity. They say, how do we eat out of this electricity crisis? Everything for them is about eating. In some instances, they can delay a project because they've not yet been offered a bribe. No one has come to say, no, this is how we're going to eat here. Then they say, no, if we are not assured that would rather not happen, that will not happen.
The Deputy President of the Republic, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, was the chairperson of the War Room. He was, in fact, the de facto chairperson of ESCOM, the de facto chairperson of a de facto board that was outside the company. He was the de facto chairperson and had started playing this role directly from being chairperson of Optimum. I quickly came to realize that the War Room was not about load shedding and turning ESCOM around. Something else was happening. ESCOM senior managers were being distracted from fighting load shedding by being made to attend endless meetings at which they were supposed to give unending and meaningless reports. I was relieved when President Zuma closed it down in favor of giving management a fair chance at fighting load shedding and turning the company around. We defeated load shedding in August 2015. On the 8th of August 2015, we stopped load shedding. And we never had load shedding again for 3 years after I had left ESCOM. Load shedding came back to ESCOM after Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, following the 1 billion rand Nasrec conference, was appointed president of the country. That's when load shedding came back. And after he was appointed president of the country, and he in turn appointed the smooth-talking and dictatorial Pravin Gordhan as Minister of Public Enterprises. The less I say about Pravin Gordhan, the better. As you see, Chairperson, despite his smooth talking, public enterprises are failing, and it appears that they are on a course to be sold to private interests. I found the behavior of Glencore and that of Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa to be revolting. Mr. Ramaphosa must have known about what Glencore sought to achieve. He was the chairperson of the company that was bought without a due diligence. He was chairperson when the penalties were imposed. He was still chairperson of Optimum when the unlawful agreement that sought to increase the price of coal from 150 and set aside the penalties was negotiated with certain members of ESCOM staff in 2014. He knew that he was being used for his political standing and hoped to influence matters to Glencore's favor. He had an interest in the matter, 9.64% interest. He is not naive, and he has been dealing with these corporates which gave him his riches. It is a pity that this Commission on State Capture missed an opportunity to investigate the nature of the cost-plus mines and 40-year contracts and what is currently collapsing ESCOM. If this were to be investigated properly, we will all see the real problems from which we are being diverted. I find it to be strange that the focus is on Tegeta, given the fact that the Tegeta supplied less than 4% of ESCOM coal, while in 2015, 4 other white-rich companies supplied more than 80% of ESCOM coal to the value in excess of 40 billion rand per annum with 40-year contracts. It goes into the trillions, Chairperson, over the 40-year period. And yet, we're here talking about this meeting, that meeting, concerning a company that was quite literally not supplying much. Glencore is a multi-billion rand company. Their BE partner, Mr. Ramaphosa, subsequently rose to become the deputy president and then president of the country. It is rumored that, and this happened without any cooling off period, it is rumored that his campaign to become president of the ANC was financed to the tune of 1 billion rand. This was unprecedented in the African National Congress. I dare say that it was not in line with the culture, values, and ethos of the ANC that I had come to know and which I continue to be a member of.
I was about to make some tea, sit on my ass and watch TV. Then the power went out and ruined it all. Fuck Eskom, screw you all. When will a better time come? When will the infrastructure run? Instead of paying all your chums, just fix the fucking grid. Now we might go to stage 4, that's fucking cuck, cause my wife snores. I normally put my headphones on, but my damn phone wasn't charged. When will a better time come? When will the infrastructure run? Instead of paying all your chums, just fix the fucking grid.